So this is actually kind of funny. So I was not scrambling. Funny. Funny. So I was not scrambling. Let me. Funny. So so here's what happened, everybody. So I've actually been working on a video streamer where I can take in RTMP feeds and then switch between them. So like a live mixer, so that you could have multiple inputs and switch between people to an output. And so I have multiple OBS profiles, one of which goes to my Twitch, one of which goes to that. And apparently I've been streaming to that and talking to myself. So so we're here. And so we're going to work on this bot I've been working on for Twitch that allows you to kind of control all of these lights and stuff I have behind me and flash them, change their color, change OBS, things like that. Let's see. Is this going to work now? Oh, run. There we go. So we should be able to do, like a color purple. No. Command not found. Oh, hue purple. There we go. I've been considering some fun stuff like that, not to the extent of controlling lights and such, though. Yeah, so this is sort of like continuously evolving here. And so you can also do an alert blue. We can flash it. So the other things you can do is there is a scene command, which will transition to this. And then I have to change it back because that's just the start of it. And there's one at the end for K thanks bye, which somebody mentioned already. And K thanks bye will actually shut down my stream. So at the end of all of this, I will let all of you end the stream for me. And so basically Twitch plays. I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. So all of this is basically, Twitch plays Twitch, yeah. So all of this is sort of controllable by this config file. And basically what we've done is there's a bunch of modules, and modules provide actions. So in this case, we have, this is a helper. So the module registers itself with what actions are available. And, here's one particular action to change the room hue. So there's a config file. Thanks for the follow, Lexa. So this config file basically allows us to manually map the fact that you sent a command in the chat to a array of actions. Thanks for the follow, Mr. Who Knows. So we can basically implement new features into the bot, but then allow you to assemble them however you want. So you could have one particular command that calls a series of actions that are provided. And that's sort of what we've been working on now, is continuously adding new actions to the bot, as well as implementing commands and how to map arguments to arguments in the action. Handling user control, or that's the later, user permissions. So there's no permissions yet. Would there be a way to set up a color API rather than using the constraints in the config? So the colors are actually between 0 and 65,000. I've created a mapping of a couple of colors that people wanted. So if you find a color you like, we'll name it, we'll hard code it in here, and that's how that'll work. So we started, as far as user permissions go, I have not implemented anything yet. I want to do some constraints for that. But one of the first things that I want to do is actually start implementing points. We've already implemented points. You can kind of see the log here. And as you talk, you're acquiring points. You can't spend them yet. Right now, everything is open. Everybody can run all of the commands and whatnot. But one of the things we could probably work on right now is we could work on implementing how to spend the points, requiring that you do that. The other thing that we were working on the last couple of streams, I had to skip last week, is there's actually a whole front end for this. And so this is me working on basically all of the overlay stuff that you see. I'm going to implement all of that as a browser source that is also connected to the bot. Oh, you're also streaming, SkipNote. How are you doing that? Are you like streaming on my stream? Or you like got a chat open? How's that working? Thanks for the follow, Dr. Dumenberg. Okay, so here's our options. I think we've got some stuff I was working on for the browser source. We've got some cleanup stuff for an LRU cache that I want to do because right now I'm caching user information, and if this bot runs forever, then that'll build up over time. Oh, we also have sounds.
This yak is as smooth and pink as it's going to get, sir. Shall we move on?
Oh, those never get old. We got another raid coming in. Take learn code. What's going on? All right, so here's one of the things that I want to do. An LRU cache should be pretty easy, but let's see if we can get channel points being spent this stream. Unless everybody takes a vote here and wants to do something else. Do I not hear super creative? Why is super creative not working? Or did I kill the bot? No. What do you typically do versus the vote? So I basically just work on what everybody's excited to play with, because this is really an interactive thing. Let's look. We'll let's go look in the code and we'll figure out what's going on here. Oh no, it's on WSL. WSL. Eric. This is inside my Go. All right. Media. Super creative is in there. It stopped playing the yak one though too. Did you notice that? It's also quite possible I broke something. Oh, I'll bet you I know what it is, everybody. I killed the bot. So the browser source likely needed to be restarted.
This yak is as smooth and pink as it's going to get, sir. Shall we move on?
Okay, so that was the issue. Inside of OBS, I have a browser source, which is where these sounds are being played from. And when I killed the bot, that lost its connection, and I guess the WebSocket hadn't reconnected yet. So that's sort of what happened there. We can open it in a browser here if we want to kind of ensure that it gets played. We might actually hear it play double. So, okay. Let's go into our Twitch logic here. Twitch. And we need some tunes. Okay, so when a chat message comes in, well, this is the raid. We started working on that a week ago. So where is our points? Points. Where are you? Okay. So this is the logic right here where we are giving points on every chat message to our user. So the next thing we need to do is spend points. So I think we need to go into our commands here. And I think we need to add a field here for points. And what this will represent is, this will represent the number of points required in order to execute the command. Did Super Creative not play, Xanis?
Yeah, it's super creative.
There we go. So, if you haven't been here, why that is so funny is there are also effects where you can do like voice, robot, and this should apply an effect to my voice, theoretically, if the OBS integration isn't broken. Oh yeah, that's right. It's uppercase. Yeah. It is case sensitive. Okay, so this is going to be the number of points required. And let's go in and add an example. So, where is alert? So we'll use alert as an example here. And we're going to say that it requires, I don't know, 5,000 points. So now let's go look at our command here. This is where our actions are registered. Here's where we execute the command. Okay, so I think what we can do here is we're going to take back the error, return it if it happens. If there is no error, then we'll deduct the points. We like big numbers in here. 1 billion points. Okay, we should be able to steal that logic though. It's okay, so here's our give point. So we're gonna need to implement that first. So we need a deduct points from our user. We should be able to copy most of this. Take points. Shouldn't that be if error equals nil? Yes, you are right. This should be if the error is nil. Then we're gonna call, where's our Twitch logic? Oh, we have to get the user first, right? Yeah. So we're gonna have to do. Oh no. Okay, so that exists here. Oh no, you should not be seeing that over the code. That's my bad. I turned that on so you could see the sounds. Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. So here we need to establish a lock to ensure multiple threads. We're going to unlock it at the end. And this is going to be deduct the points. That's pretty straightforward. So now we need to we're going to fetch our user and should be command dot user ID. And what we want to check here is that error is not equal to nil and our user is not new. Because if they are new, then that means they have not been persisted to the database, which means they have no points. So there's no point in even doing this. All right, u dot take points. It's command dot. Ooh, no. So this is actually in the wrong spot. Right? Wait a second. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, so this is in the wrong spot. We want to break at some point. So if error is not equal to nil, then we want to break this loop. This is in the entirely wrong spot. because this is a loop iterating over each. Wait a second. Just trying to make sense of all of this stuff really quick. All right, so here's where we're looking to see if there's help. Oh yeah, we ended up in completely the wrong spot here. Oops, that's what happens when we... All right. This is our help command. This is where we're actually executing the command. Okay. We iterate over the actions, and this is where we return our error, if there is an error. So we return early. So if we make it to this point, then then we're fine. All right, so this should be used. What was that logic? Bot.getUser. All right, if user dot or error not equal, error is nil, and it's not a new user, then what we're going to do is take, and somewhere in here, is it C dot points? There we go. Undeclared bot. Uh-oh. Are we going to have a circular dependency here? Oh, because we're in bot. I am crazy. All right, here we go. And we need... Ooh. No, command dot user ID. There we go. Are we ready to try this? So this should give me points. And then what was it? Was it alert that I put that on? It was alert. So let's alert purple. And then I should be able to say something. Yep, and I got my points deducted. That works. Well, that was pretty simple. Now we need to supply points. And we probably need like a way of telling you that you don't have enough points. So I suppose that would probably get very noisy though, wouldn't it? I guess we'll leave it like this for now, and then we'll figure that out. I guess we could do a me, and that would tell you how many points you have. We should probably build that directly into the bot, maybe. Similar to how help was done. All right. This will be pretty straightforward here. So we need to pass in some args. We want to send it to this channel. Oh, we need to like remove that hard coding here as well to do. Remove hard coded channel. Because I don't want any hard coding here, because what I want to see is this be reusable for everybody. So we're going to print out and then let's do, is that right? %D. points. Username. We're going to need to get the user. And I suppose if you're new, you're going to have 0 points anyway. So that'd be fine. Declared not used. That's fine. So u dot name, display name, u dot points. Everybody's really quiet today. Monday. Let's hit it. Me. Command not found. Command not found. Reading contracts. Did you see my question about quantity of lights? No, I didn't see that. What was your question about the quantity of lights, Dr. Dumenberg? So we hit that command not found. So we should have never hit this logic here. How many lights do you have to be able to control individual lights and perhaps activate animations would be fun? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6. There are 6 lights coming down from the ceiling. And then there's 3 bulbs in my ceiling fan. There's 1 back there behind that plant. I have another one like that that needs to go up here. And then I have rope lights. So 1 above the desk, 1 below the desk on each desk. So however many that is. And yeah, you can control them all individually. We can control the color of each one individually. We can control blinking individual ones, brightness, all of that. So I would like to start implementing some of that as features so that everybody can start having fun, you know, blinking this light one color and blinking that desk another color and things like that. Thanks for the follow, Mr. Paradox. Okay, so why did we end up here? Me did not hit this logic. Why? We should have hit this logic. So let's find out. In me. Oh, I never built it. Ooh. That's not right. Why did it print that way? Oh, wait. This is not the way we need that. But it's still not right. You think that looks better than plain text? Let's see. There we go. That's kind of strange. And I mean, I suppose we could probably format that number if we wanted to. Can we do that? Let's see. I want separators, like... Whoa. Yeah, I don't want to import a humanized package. Not for that. We'll use this for now. I'm trying to remember. I know I've done this before, but yeah, in this browser source won't have that background. I just used this for kind of testing purposes to kind of see how that would lay out. All right, so, okay, so let's implement this too. Allow users to give each other points. So this is starting to get kind of messy in here as well. We might want to... I'm going to add another to-do here. To-do. Pull this out into bot actions that are automatically registered. The idea is I didn't want these to have to be commands put in your config file, so they're just in here. But that's really making this execute command thing kind of gnarly. So maybe what we should do is, if we notice here, when we load the config, we range over the commands. And then we set the command in there. So what we should do, we could probably just have a function that loads all of our commands in after the fact. And that would allow us to get this logic out of here. But let's implement this stuff first, and then we can abstract it once we have everything to deal with. So we need a props method. This is going to get ugly. There's a part of me that wants to see this feature working, and then there is a part of me that is like, this is ugly. Okay. So here we should be able to get user 1. And then oh, this is going to be tricky actually, because we're not going to have that user's ID. We're going to have their name. And I think actually what we want to do is we want to transfer points, because we're going to have a weird issue here where what happens if I manage to deduct the points from you, but I never actually, something fails in applying them to somebody else. So now let's take a vote. Should props generate new points into the economy, or should they transfer points from you to that person? Okay, we need to go in here. So we want the number of points, and we want the user ID. I think that's what format that was in. Yeah. So we should be able to actually iterate over the list of users as well and find the user with that name. So you don't gain points for messages that are also commands. So the only way you generate new points for yourself is by chatting that in things that are not commands. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a couple of things we need to do here. One, we need to iterate over our list of users. I'm just trying to think here because we have a map of users and we could maintain a map of usernames to user IDs. But I think that that still creates a problem because we would only know about the user if they've said something. And we can't guarantee that's going to happen either. So I think we're going to end up having to iterate over this. So bolt db. Okay, so this is how we need to iterate over our list of users to find this user by their name. But we need, I guess we could do it in a view. So that's the first thing we need to do. Okay. And our bucket is called user bucket. All right, so we've got our bucket. We get a cursor. Now we're going to iterate over our keys. And this is our value. So this ends up being the user. First, key's not equal to nil. Then we set key value to next. So this gives us our list. So what we need to do now is look to see if value dot, I think we need to cast this or do a type assertion on this. It's JSON. Okay, so we need to unmarshal it first. I'm trying to vaguely remember because we kind of put this together really quick one day to see what was possible and then just haven't come back to it. So we're going to need to unmarshal each of these. I don't like this. I don't like this. So this is going to require us to iterate every key in the database and then unmarshal it just so that we can look. Yeah, we're not going to do this. So here's what we're going to do. When we create a user, where's our create bucket? So here's my thought. What we'll end up doing is we'll create this bucket, which contains JSON for each. So it's the user's ID and JSON of their entire user object. And then we'll create another bucket, which is just username to user ID mappings. But my concern here, though, is that if the username changes, that's why I wanted the use ID to begin with. Does the Twitch API have a way for me to take a user's name and turn it into their ID? And what does a reference look like when somebody's name is mentioned? I think we might have to iterate over that. No, because it wouldn't matter if their name changed, it would change in both places, wouldn't it? Sorry, I'm like rubber ducking with all of you right now. The Twitch API will let me do that. Okay, let's see. Let's see what endpoint we have for Twitch. Actually, I already had a library that I planned on using for Helix API. I think this was it. Because that would probably be best if we could just hit the Twitch API and say, hey, give me this person's user ID. Is this what we're looking for? Let's try it. I thought I already had this in here, but... Alright, where do we want this to live? I don't want to put it in here. That's kind of mixing things, so I guess we can put it in our bot logic. Okay. Where's our init? Init. So where we're registering our modules. This is probably the best place to put this. So what we'll do is inside here, we can have a Helix client. I don't know what type this is, but we're gonna guess and say it is a helix.client. And I should have an environment variable here called os.getEnv. Let me just pop this real quick to make sure. Oh, I don't have a client ID. I have an OAuth token. All right, so we're gonna need a client ID in order to do this. And I swore I generated one already. I didn't want them until you told me I can't have them. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, the points for saying a command? All right, so I need to figure out where I need to get a client ID. So I'm gonna just open a new browser. And we're gonna move it over here. I'm just logging into the developer. Oh, my secrets, yeah. Okay, so this is that. All right, there's my client ID. And now that goes back up. So I have just an environment variable that I'm using here. Oh, it is in there. Never mind. I'm dumb. I didn't scroll far enough up. So there is a Twitch client ID in there. All right. So here's our and then we can just set Helix. You know what? Let's just do this. Twitch API has a get user request, although I'm not sure if you're going for the whole HTTP request aspect or not. I think in this particular case we need to, because otherwise our data gets stale. It's safe to persist the data based on the unique key of the Twitch user, because that's guaranteed to never change. But I need some way of mapping the Twitch username to ID, and I'm not the canonical source. So even if I save or persist some sort of mapping to those two, then it's no better than me persisting all of your data based on that ID anyway. So yeah, so that's what we were looking at here. It looks like we have a way of calling this get users method on this library. And so I guess let's see what happens. I'm just going to do it here in this init logic for now, just so we see what we're working with. I mean, the code's getting kind of ugly anyway and needs a lot of refactoring. So this is our Helix client. And we're just going to pick somebody. We're going to go with Mr. Paradox because you're the last person who sent a message. And then we'll go with Dr. Dumenberg too. Okay. And then let's print out the response. Set.data. Oh, tell me I don't have to do that. All right. Cannot assign Helix client to... Oh. Missing return where? Wait. What are you talking about? Line 40, missing return at end of function. Wait. I think because we have some stuff half finished here. Wait, what? Line 191. Cannot assign a pointer to a Helix client to a Helix client. I swear we just changed that. And missing return at end of function. Oh, and user.go. Okay. Save. And what is this from? This is one of the things that we worked on. So I've got some debug code somewhere. Where is that debug code? And I don't think we want to do a... because there's going to be a lot of them in here. Oh, maybe that one's it. Okay, so that's what this is. This was... this is basically a hard-coded Twitch message for a raid that the last time I was streaming we were working on handling that stuff. Okay, so that didn't print anything. So it did not do what we expected it to do. So the question now is... is there an error? Anybody do anything fun this weekend? Looks like it returns an ID. So there's no error, but it didn't return back anything. So is this because that's not the login for the person? Let's go look up the docs for this package. .go.dev. Okay, this gets our user params, login. So did a lot of programming. Me too. I've been working on this streaming thing that I mentioned before. I'll actually start working on stream too here soon. It'll be kind of Rust and a bunch of other stuff. Enjoyed some time with the wife this weekend. Went out to eat. Bought a coffee pot. Nice. Yeah, I'm missing the going out thing. It's interesting. I used to be a homebody in programming, but I'm missing the going out thing. A Go for Noobs GitHub repo. Let me know when you finish that. I had a really good steak last night too. Okay, so what am I missing here? Because did I misspell anything? No. And Dr. Dumenberg. What about for me? Eric.dev. So that's still returning back nothing. We've got no errors though. So is it something broken with the library? Oh, so it's kind of like a journal of your own learnings? Okay, what is this? So this should get us all the stuff we want. ID login. And I didn't get an error, so I should be logged in, right? Ooh, one thing I did not do here is error, if error. I'm guessing this probably is going to return back an error. No. So we're connected. So why are you not returning back any data? Let's go up a little higher and just ask it for what its response is. Huh. Okay, so look at this. This new client, which we passed our client ID to, did not fail. It wasn't until we made our request where it says our OAuth token is missing. So let's look back at this library and see where its issue is. Thanks for the follow, Dala. Okay, so let's look at our new client method here. So here's our options. We've got a client ID and a client secret. And then we also have an app access token. So which thing is it that you're wanting? I'm just looking at my developer dashboard over here. So that's the client ID. Oh, did I didn't supply the client secret, did I? I did not. But I don't like the fact that that doesn't work. OAuth token is missing. What were our options here? We've got an app access token, user access token. Their example just... Yeah, their example doesn't even include a secret or anything. Yay for incomplete documentation. So what are we missing here? Let me make sure that that's set. Is the client? I thought I was already passing this. Hopefully I did not just break my other thing, but... Which... Okay. If you do not use durenv, you need durenv. Alright, let's try this again. What? I love stuff like this where it should be easy, but it is not easy. You run into stuff. So where is it wanting me to pass this? And I haven't. Still missing. Let's make sure I didn't break that. Okay. So that works. So it's just this one that I'm missing. And interestingly enough, I'm using this same thing elsewhere. Oh, I almost searched for Twitch OAuth token, and then it would have spit it out in here. I was going to look for where else this was configured at. Let me... So when I first set this up, I actually ended up doing that. Oh, I guess it doesn't search for dot files. Perfect. So this is how I'm logging in already. So that should work, unless it's looking for it in a different place, because these also have app access token. Maybe I need it in the app access token spot. No. Is this even a library that we can use? Is it super old? No, 4 days ago. Docs. Authentication. Scopes. Nope. Client get authorization URL. Okay, let's see. Okay, so how to get an app access token. Yep. We're going to get our app access token, then we're not going to have that though. So how is this doing that? It shouldn't. Is it waiting for the callback? I want to know what this returns. A user access token response. Let's see. User access credentials. And that's not even in here. Access credentials. Okay, so that's our access token and our scopes. Oh, so this is going to authenticate individual users. That's not what we want. We should have our access token already. So what was their... What's the Helix options? So in theory, that should work. User. No. Alright, what am I missing, people? Because all of this logic shows that we get our client ID. This is a redirect URL, which we're not too worried about. This is going to provide a URL for you to log into. So this is just getting access to somebody else's account. So we've got a client ID, we've got a client secret. What am I missing? So the token I got through the web URL, or the like developer console thing. But what's interesting is that's exactly how I'm accessing this, right? So this Twitch IRC library that we're using here. New client wants our OAuth string, which I have stored. So I have stored in the Twitch OAuth token here. You think the IRC token is different from the API token? That's true. But in the developer console, we have applications, which I have my application registered. So this is... Is it because I didn't save that? I've got my one application here. I have the client ID. All right, we got to pop the secret screen again. It's not very entertaining watching me try and fix secrets. So let's see, my client ID still lines up. I have the old OAuth token still appears to be working even though I generated a new one. So I've got the new one saved to a Twitch client secret. env allow. How long have I worked for Microsoft? I'm about to celebrate my 3-year anniversary next month. Thanks. Yeah, it's a blast. I'm really enjoying the type of stuff I get to work on. You know, like that streaming thing is something I'm building for work, and I get to live stream working on it, and they let me contribute to open source. That's actually what I spend most of my time doing, is open source development, especially in the container space. Okay, where is this issue? Let me try. What's that? Oh, just getting to work on open source stuff? Yeah, it's an absolute blast. I actually work on an open source engineering team as part of developer advocacy. Let's see if we can get this to generate one, because it looks like in their docs. What code is this? This is our authentication code. Let's see if that other Twitch package is going out and getting it for us. So my background has actually been mostly open source work. I spent a number of years at Disney doing web development on all their e-commerce platforms and leading some stuff there. Microsoft stole me from Comcast, where I was a systems architect and designing and building video streaming stuff around the country. I was really big into open source, containers, Go, things like that. Yeah, so I've been in the field for a number of years doing a lot of distributed system stuff. And Go since 2011. But yeah, they approached me. Why is this not? I feel like we're going to have to dig into this other package here to figure out how they are doing the login. Oh, we don't want V2, just that's the module thing. Go modules. Where do you work, Mr. Paradox? Are you doing full-time engineering work? Software as a service company that's 100% cloud-based. VB6? There's cloud stuff doing in VB6? Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to dig through the source code of one Twitch library that works to figure out what's happening with the other one. Okay, so this is the IRC token. Okay. All right, so in new client. So this is just storing the OAuth token directly on IRC token. Where is that being used? That sets the IRC token. So this is just where it logs in. Okay, so that's not what I'm thinking. The client itself is streamed to the local device that's using it using Citrix. Interesting. Back with some lunch. What'd you bring me, Dr. Doomenberg? I haven't eaten today. Let's see. Why is this not working? It's funny, all of this just so that we can map user name to user ID. Sushi for the stream. Ooh, steak and pork loin. All right, authentication. Let's see what's happening. All right, so this is taking our client ID and client secret, and it's asking for an access token. Okay. Is it doing anything with the response? Response. Okay, so this gives us our token back. Now what is that used for? Okay, so wait, this is going to get us an app access token. That's going to be the code from the user logging in. That's not what we want. We don't want to revoke it. I wonder if we can validate this. I'm just curious what that says. So we created our Helix client. Let's try to validate the token that we have. And what does that come back with? Oh. Valid. Oh, so you just tried using the Helix package with an OAuth token I generated in Postman and it worked. Okay, yeah, so this is saying that that's a valid token. Where did you put it, in the client secret or in the user access token? Let's see. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, yeah, so that's what I thought we needed to do. So I'm guessing that the one that I was generating here is I'm generating additional IRC tokens. So do we need to spit out this? I really don't want to have that workflow though, where we end up having to make the user go authenticate to do this. Okay, we're registered. We want a token. All right, we can make server to server requests. Let's see, when API requests authentication, sends the access token as a header. Yep, we know that. Revoking, that's fine. We don't want to know refreshing. So we're gonna need to go out and ask for one then. Oh, it sets the current token? That's weird. Okay, so this looks like it's a way for us to get an access token. So let's try that. Oops. All right, so that's our response. Oh, Helix. I'm not gonna look at the response right now. Just because I'm curious what'll happen. Still invalid. I'm gonna print this out because I'm curious what comes back. And I think I'm gonna have to pop the secrets thing just in case it says some stuff that we can't take back. Wait, what? 9205. What are we talking about here? All right. Ooh, invalid client secret. Okay. Let's see if this works then. Are we playing with the lights? Oh, I don't have the bot running. Well, on and off I do. Invalid client secret. All right. I'll remove this from now so everybody can kind of see what's going on here. So it looks like when I'm trying to get this access token, it is telling me that I have an invalid client secret. However, oh, I have an idea. I have an idea. I think I have this prefixed with let's just try this without the word OAuth in front of it. Sweet. Oh no, that didn't work. Okay, let me clear this. and remove this so you all can see. Oops. All right. So this is working now. It appears that the one library that I'm using likes the word OAuth prefixed, and I generated myself a new token, or a new secret, and that's stored in this client secret here. But I had OAuth in front of it, and that's not what it wanted. Yeah. So, but these are actually two separate tokens right now, which makes me wonder if I broke token declared and not used. All right. We're going to come back to you. Don't you worry. All right. I just want to make sure that this still works, though. Okay, that still works. So this OAuth token's working still, which is weird. All right, so that means we should be able to take this token now. And we should be able to set the token, right? I'm trying to see here whether we need to either one, set user access token. Here we go. There we go. Is this gonna work? All right, there we go. Haha! All right. All of that. All of that. Now I do need to mess with these to see whether I really need these three values. Like, because now I'm curious. Let's try this. Where was my OAuth token? It was in the Twitch logic here. All right. Let's see if this client secret works prefixed with something. So let's do fumpt this printf, and we're gonna do a OAuth %s. I just want to see whether it's the same token completely or I got the other token somewhere else and I'm forgetting. So in theory, this should generate wait, what are we talking about? What am I missing? Oh, we're missing a closing. What? What did I do here? Okay, so this is the... No, it's still not working. That's the close there. So that's right. That's this. What? Oh, is that? Wait, a rogue. Ooh. Okay, authentication failed. So they are not the same thing. So the question is now, where did I get the other token from before? That's going to be the tricky thing for when I document all of this, is where did I get these tokens from? Well, now I know where I got the client secret from, but... well, I don't know right now where I got this OAuth token from, though. I'll have to update that later. But we're working now. So now we have the ability here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I think I did go to that page. Oh, you got an extra bracket there, mister. There we go. So there's an alert and then an alarm, too. So alarm green will go for like 15 seconds. Okay, so everything we needed. We're gonna add a to-do here too. Better error handling to ensure valid token. So we're gonna have to change this stuff up and just kind of add some sanity checks here, but I want to kind of finish up this feature that we were working on. So I feel like in this user logic, we might want to use that. I'm gonna move this logic into the user stuff, even though I know it's not part of the database handling. I think that this makes sense in here because we're still kind of playing with users. I'm just gonna paste that there for a second while we clean this up. So if we make it to this point, does set user access token return anything? No. Thanks for the follow, Thebe. Okay. So in here, let's just create I'm gonna move this all to the bottom. So we'll mix and match kind of in here some of the user persistence logic along with some helper functions to get like func get Twitch user by name. And then this returns back. We'll look at that in a second. We're just going to assume error here for now. The error is not equal to nil. We're going to return back our error. We just need our one user. Here's our response. I want to know what that returns. Response dot what? Data dot users is a slice of users. Okay, so Helix user. I don't know whether I like exposing this here, but we're gonna do this for now. Maybe we'll create our own abstraction later. What brand of light are they? Are they hooked up to your computer or an alternate machine? So all of the lights here are Philips Hue lights. And you can get them in a variety of different styles and things like that. And you can set up scenes and talk to groups of lights and things like that. We can do kind of color combinations and all kinds of stuff. And so there's actually a device that's on my network called a Hue Bridge, and we're communicating with that over HTTP, and that's communicating over, I believe it's Bluetooth Low Energy, to all of the individual lights on the network. Where is that sweet TwitchBot interface type? What do you mean? Okay, so return error here. We're gonna, even though this is okay. We're going to return back. Let's actually just... Alright, so we're going to return nil if there is an error. Then the next thing we need to do is we need to check the length of the response.data.users. And if it is equal to 0, then we want to return back this 0 value as well as user with name was not found. And then we'll pass in the name. If we make it here, then we assume that we have found our user, and then we should be able to return back response.data.users and the first one, and nil for our error. Have an interface for this Twitch bot to get users, auth, etc. Yeah, so right now I have sort of this our own user type. And right now this is sort of just a helper to go out to Twitch and grab the user because I want their ID. However, I think I have this logic here because what I think in the future we're going to do is this will start getting intermingled. So we might want to actually create some sort of merged data set here from information about the user. So some of this stuff that we have is actually coming through chat that we know about the user. However, it looks like we can get a lot more information about the user here. Wait. I swore I removed that. All right, let's find out where this debug message is coming from before I go crazy. All right, connected. Oh, it's still there. On twitch.go, line 46. Okay, I swear to you I commented that out. Remove me when alert feature is complete. And maybe one of the things we can do after we get this working is I can show you all how to implement a new action into the bot as well. All right, so logged in, no authentication required. So now we should be able to, oh, okay, so now we can go back to our logic here. Inside of our command, we had the props one. And so what we needed to do was we needed to grab this user. And we're getting them by their ID. If error is not nil, we're going to return. And then what we need to do from here is get user to ID. And this is where we're going to call get Twitch user by name. And then we're going to look at, oh, we're not splitting this up, are we? So in here, no, we have it. So command.args, and our first argument is going to be their username. If error is not equal to nil, then we're going to return. And then we should be able to now call user1 dot transfer points, and we want to transfer the second argument that comes in, that number, ooh, we're gonna have to parse it. Yeah, this is getting really, really kind of big in here. We'll refactor this out here in a second. So I'm just gonna call that user. Call that user. Okay, so we need to do a couple of things first. If the length of command.args is not equal to 2, then we need to return. Okay, so we're ensuring that's there. We need to also parse this. So where's our transfer points function? Transfer points. Okay, so we wanted the uint64 for this. So we're going to need to parse this. Phone's blowing up over here. Okay, so we need this is points, error, str convert, parse uint. And so this is going to be command args1. So that's the second argument. It is a base 10 integer, and we want it 64 bits. If error is not equal to nil, we failed to parse. We're going to return that back. So what's the difference between colon equals and equals? Okay, so that's actually a really good question. So typically you end up doing things like declaring a variable, right? So var a is a Boolean, right? And then later you assign a value to that, right? So you have declaration and assignment. So you can also do that here, right? So we could say var a is of type Boolean and it's true, right? However, what the colon equals does is it's a declaration and assignment. So points equals 1000 is declaring points and assigning the value 1000. However, the difference between that var version of it is that it is it's inferring the type from the right hand side. Does that make sense? So if I change this later to true, points is of type bool, but it's inferred. So that's why we usually do stuff like this, because then if I had said, you know, declared all of these things, var points, uint64, and then var error is of type error, and I did this, if I ever changed what value this returned back, I would have to go back and update all of these everywhere. Not quite like JavaScript, because JavaScript does type coercion, where it sees that you're trying to use this integer like a string, so it's just going to kind of go ahead and make it a string for you. It's not quite the same because these are explicit types. So once this is assigned to points, points is of that type. uint64, from that point forward, we can't coerce it into anything else. Okay, so what are you yelling? Oh, just because you're not used. All right, so at this point, we've got points being a uint64. So we can actually get rid of this here and pass in points. And we want the user's ID. So Twitch user.id. And then this logic here can be pretty safe. But the one thing we do want to do is there's like this update user logic here. You can see that it actually creates a transaction. So while we're using so here's the thought. We could take this user, right, and say take points, right? And then we could say user Wait, where's my logic to get the user? Get user. So then if we called get user, no, u2 dot get user. All right, so this would be like if the user didn't exist. Why do I keep wanting to do u2.getUser? It's just a function in this package. All right, so this is going to go get the user by ID. If the error is not equal to nil, or if u2.new. No. That would be okay. If they're new, we're just going to give them points. So user 2. So we take the points and then u2 dot. Oh, these are going to have locks. So I would kind of like to wrap this in a transaction, but so in this particular case, we could do this. This is all locked here. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, if the program crashed, you know, in the middle of all of this, the points could be taken and not given to the new user. So the one thing that we could do to solve all of that is we basically have to re-implement all of this here. So let's look at 2 implementations. So we're going to comment this out really quick. And this is our crude, naive way of doing this. We end up losing the lock in between these 2 places as well. And we implement the ability for kind of an issue to be caused. So we could still use this. We can still use this get user logic though. That's still safe to do. Wouldn't it be a good idea to have a point check to prevent negative values when deducting points before continuing forward? Yeah, so that is the other thing that we need to do as well. We need to ensure that the user has enough points so that they can be transferred. And then the question becomes, do we transfer them? If you are trying to give 500 points but you have 300, do we give them 300 or do we just fail because you don't have the full 500? Transfer the balance. Okay, I like that. Leaving them at 0. Okay, so we have a couple of things we need to do. So this is our DB update. We need to get... Well, so the first thing we need to do is we need to acquire a lock. We want to ensure that we are the only thread dealing with the database right now. So now we have our lock. It'll be unlocked when we're done. So then the next thing we need to do is we want to get our 2 users. So this is user 1. We already have this user. Okay. So we need to figure out how many points you have. So if u.points is less than the number of points that we want to transfer, then we're going to set the number of points equal to the number of points that you have remaining. And let's just comment here. If insufficient balance, transfer remaining balance. Okay. And so one of the things I want to do at some point too, once this kind of gets cleaned up, is I have some friends that want to reuse this bot, is I actually want to make this work cross channels. So not just on my stream, but on coworker streams and friend streams. Like you can use this, you can acquire the points and spend the points based on whatever stream you're on. So you could go to, you know, Aaron Schlesinger's Twitch stream and get props from people and then come spend them on my stream. Okay, so now we've got that. So the first thing we want to do... Thanks for the follow, Rotiv99. I love that we've got like the whole sound effect thing going. I kind of don't want points for those just because it's kind of fun to watch it kind of change organically. And we do need to get to where I allow you to say, you know, hue the color of this desk, and so everybody can get creative. Okay, so here we're marshaling this user to JSON, but we do need to points equals, all right. So then we need to u.points equals u.points minus points. Okay. And so the other thing we need to do now is we need to take our user 2 and we need to set their points equal to u2.points plus points. And so now we have JSON user 1. And this is going to be our second user. So now we have JSON of both of our users being updated. And now we can wrap all of this in a single transaction. So we're going to go to our bucket. And then we're going to write to the user ID, JSON user 1. And if there's an error, we're going to return the error, which should roll back anything that happens. Oops. And then this is going to be our user 2 ID and second user. And now, in theory, this should work. What are we complaining about now? That's right. Missing return. What? Oh. Return nil. So hue, that does actually work. So you could say hue 27,000. Hue, you know, I don't know, 12,000. So that currently works. The color ones that you see in there are actually just hard-coded values so that people looking for, you know, a green or a blue or a purple can just say that. But yeah, you can totally explore around. Okay. What I really need is a helper to do like RGB to whatever format that is. Okay, so command not found props. I thought that we had that working. Props. Oh, because we need to return here. So in theory, let's do this. Oh yeah, hit me with another props. Let's see. So, oh no, it didn't work. Let's say props. It did deduct from me. All right, so I think that's working. Let's see. Sweet. Did that work? Did that give you the points it was supposed to, mister? Let's try this. I'm gonna props you again and see what happens. Props. Wait, what happened there? Wait, how did you end up with... Oh, because you gave me all of your points. All right, let's try it. Sweet. Okay, so now we have points transfer happening. What else did we have on this ticket for points? Consuming points, allow bot owner to give unlimited number of points. Okay. So that is an additional thing we need to implement inside this command thing. Ooh, so that's pretty far abstracted. Oh, I suppose we could do that here. All right, here's an idea. So that we don't have to like gut out the internals. So what we can do is say, if the user dot ID is our user dot display name. So the idea here is that I want to know if the command dot channel, yeah, that's what we want. All right, so if the user dot is display name all I have dot login. All right, let's try it this way. So if the display name is the channel name, and let's just do a to lower on this, strings dot to lower, just to kind of ensure that. Welcome back, Dr. Doomenberg. And so we'll to lower this too. Command, right? All right, so if channel owner restore points, we need a better description. This allows owner to give unlimited points. Okay, so we can just do a user give points and give them back their points. Oh, but that would... No, let's do this different. So this is what we want. If... Let's just say allow... Okay, so if it's the owner, then we're just going to give... Yeah, okay. So that's how we're going to do this. If the channel name is the same as the display name, then we need to actually go find the user, right? We need to do this whole logic here. So this will give us a new user inside this block. Okay, so we'll return back if there's an error. Otherwise, we found the user and we're just going to give them points. Otherwise, we're going to transfer from and we need to actually get this by Twitch user dot ID. Okay, I think this makes sense. My dog was chilling by the scanner until I started scanning documents. What is this black magic? All right, so let's double check this logic real quick. So if they're the channel owner, then we're going to go fetch by the Twitch user, fetch them by their ID. And then we're going to just give this new user points, or else we're going to transfer points. Let's rename this destination dest user, just so that's a little more clear that it's not the original user. Okay, let's try it. Me. 73,500 points. Props. Dr. Doomenberg. You're the last person to speak, so you get points. You get, I don't know, 25,000 of them. Me. Didn't affect me. Props. Mr. Paradox. Okay. So I think we completed that feature. Your points rich, exactly. You have lots of points and nothing to spend them on. So we can close this issue now. So I think we probably need to abstract some of these things out though. Like this has gotten pretty kind of crazy. So what I think we need to do is I think that we need to implement some actions for these things and maybe offer a bit. All right, thanks for hanging out, Mr. Paradox. So it is whose line is it anyway points for now, but all of the things that you're playing with will cost points, and like adding effects to my voice will cost points and things like that. However, the way this is going to work in the future is that points earned here can be spent in other people's channels. So I'll collaborate with coworkers and things like that who also have Twitch channels, and you'll be able to spend points acquired in anybody's channel and anybody else's channel. You've got a channel, see, so you could put the bot in there and it could just be an entire economy. So not a lot. So I haven't, this is on GitHub. I haven't open sourced it yet just because I still have some hard coded values here. So if we just do, so we've got a couple of places here where I'm like hard coded in here, and I need to remove those, but this is going to be abstracted where it could be reused in anybody's channel. So a couple of the things that I need to do is I need to remove, thanks for the follow, Peter. So the things that I need to do still are twofold. So one is I need to remove a couple of places where I have my user hard coded in here. I suppose I could search for it this way. No. Ooh, so I only have one place. Interesting. Okay. So the fun thing about all of this though, Dr. Doomenberg, is that it's designed in such a way, the reason that I'm building it this way is that a lot of people are building Twitch bots and they are so hard coded to their channel or the things that they have available to them. And so I don't really like that because even if they shared the code, you would have to do so much gutting to be able to use it. So this is designed in like this modular manner where there's modules, and modules provide actions to the bot. So here's an OBS module. Yeah, I am that Eric. So So this particular module is registering itself with the bot, and it's registering some available actions. So then in your config file, you string those together. So I say that I want a command called scene, and it's going to call this one action, and here's the arguments it's going to pass. So you can kind of string together all of your own commands based on the available actions without having to touch any Go. The only reason you would have to touch Go is if you want to introduce new functionality. Say you bought lights other than Hue lights and you wanted to do that, or, I don't know. One of the actions we can do is just make it run generic commands on your computer. That'd be pretty easy to implement. We could actually do that right now if we wanted. So I don't know. We could just have this, right? Yes. So the other thing we do have here is the EricBot dev. Inside this command directory, I'm slowly implementing some things. So, So if I do a -H. Whoa, why is that? I don't like that that's doing that. Okay, so, but we can see we have, there's a Hue command. Well, what's available for the Hue command? Okay, so we can alert the room. So I'm also introducing these things as individual command line things. So you could, in theory, also make your bot just call this logic. The other thing that you could do too is for this config JSON is I want to build a UI to generate this, because it's getting kind of crazy to read. But so here's an example of the voice one. If I type the voice command, it's enabled. It's going to run the source filter enabled thing. It's going to pass in the source name for the Heil PR40 that I'm talking into. It wants to enable it, and whatever the filter name is. So the first argument in the list is going to be applied here as filter name. Then it's going to run the sleep action, which sleeps for 5 seconds. And then it's going to call the source enabled, filter enabled thing and pass it false this time. So it's just sort of like this stringing together stuff. Twitch Studio doesn't matter. So what you use to stream off of doesn't matter. It's logging into the chat itself and just listening to all of the chat messages and reacting based on what it sees. So let's do this, and I'll show you how, from start to finish, how we can implement a new action and command. So inside our bot module, I have this actions list. So this is just the prototype for it. And let's just call it let's call it a shell exec action. And so we want to ensure that we want to check what the okay, so we're going to copy this stuff over first. So we've got an S variable that's going to hold the command we want to execute. Okay is just to check for whether an argument by that name exists. And we're going to look for an argument called command. And done. Okay. So, what is this? Oh, because we don't use it. All right. So Go has the ability to do an OS exec. Wait, where's our OS package? What am I missing here? Command? Yeah, OS exec is the package. All right. So this is just a little example of this. So this is how we would tell it to call the tr command and how we would pass it arguments. So how widely do you want this to be available? Would you consider the ability to create commands within IRC chat? broadcaster types new sound, blah, blah, blah. And your code generates the command for a user. I could learn enough go to sort this, no problem, but I have a friend who wants a bot for his channel, but has little to no interest in learning to code. Well, that's sort of the idea here, right? Is I'm spending a lot of time coding this thing, but most people don't want to spend the time to do that. And the bots that you have to just plug into your channel are really, really kind of rudimentary. Like, respond to this command with this text. Well, no, we want, you know, we want a lot more versatility. So that's the idea here. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to just grab the command output. So we can do an os exec right? Oh, no, we need to create the command first. Command equals exec.command. And we're going to pass it whatever you said is your command. We don't have any arguments yet, though. Ooh. So we might have to implement something special here. So for the time being, we're just going to have to say what the command is. Let's do that first, and then we'll expand it. All right, so here's our command. And we're going to do... We want the combined output, though. Does that run it too? Yeah, it does run it. All right, so combined output. So we're gonna have out and error. So Peter, do you hang out in Began's channel quite a bit? All right, if error is not nil, we're gonna return our error. If not, we have our out. And ooh. Thanks for the follow, Lord Tam. So here's my thought. Right now, there's a couple things. So we're going to take care of that. So for now, this should just run a command. Let's just do this. There's our out. Now we want to twitch.say something too. So oh, for all of this, I'm just calling that. Yeah, so if we have an error, I am returning that error. So in this case, I'm just stealing some logic here. So here we're going to manually call this action that we know exists. This is sort of my way of cheating around some stuff. So here's, all right, we need to fix this real quick too. So this should really be the channel that this command was said in. Okay. And so same thing. We're going to change this to the action. Ooh, we don't know what channel this was set in. You're bad what, Peter? So here's the funny thing. I was like, oh, we could implement a shell action really quickly. So we've got a couple of problems. So one is problems. One, how do we send the output to the screen or to the chat? And do we even want to? So I think that that should maybe be an option in the arguments. And then 2, if we do want to say something in the chat, how do we know what channel? And then number 3 for problems is, how do we pass a variable number of arguments? And this would be so that we can say shell, I don't know, cat etc issue, right? You want to know what version of Ubuntu or something, right? Well, we're already picking up the first argument, but how do we pass a variable number here? So I guess let's start working on those one at a time. So right now our bot action here just has the name, its arguments, and user stuff. So I think what we can do first is let's go into our action. I guess we could pass in the channel. So our 2 options are, we can change this entire interface here to take in not just the bot action itself, or we've got a couple of options. So in our list of, we could put it in our list of arguments. Just thinking here, thinking out loud. So we can say this if we know what channel. And do we want to know the channel that it was originated in? So this is our command. And on the command, we do have some information. So I'm thinking we might want to refactor all of this. So thoughts on if we pass the user command in. Oh, no worries, Dr. Dumenberg. I do the same thing to Began too. I sort of like drop in like at random moments. All right. But I'm gonna have a lot of code that breaks here. But I think that we want to change our interface here for the action func to take in a command, a user command, and an action. Because on the user command, we have a lot more information. We have the information about what channel that was executed on, the user ID of the person who sent it, what their username is, what the full command that they sent, or what the thing after the exclamation point is, as well as all of the individual arguments. And so I think that this might allow you to do a lot more stuff. So it's going to break a lot of stuff here really quick, because we're going to have to go back and basically fix all of our functions. So command line 70. Every function here. Register action. Oh, wait. Where's F coming from? Oh, because it's ranging over the actions. Register action. Why do I have that here? That should... All right, not enough arguments, then call to F on line 96. What order did I pass that in? It's the command, then the action. Okay, so line 96, we're refactoring this a little bit, so we are going to pass the... Oh, crap. I guess let's pass the original command here. And then after our list of args here, this will be our user command. And all of this is just to basically push information about the top level call down. So if you want to act on it. Let's actually change this. I'm going to reorder that. Okay. Line 129. Not enough. Well, we knew that. We want to pass the command down. Okay. Line 179. And this, we're going to pass the command. Ooh. All right. So this should be, in theory, all of the places that are trying to... All right. Twitch.go. So this is basically now we're going to fix all of the modules. Their prototypes here. So line 20. What is this? Cannot use say action type bot action error as type. Oh, okay. So that's here. That's our issue. So command. And this is bot.user command. I swear this Vim plugin is just weird sometimes in VS Code. I'm trying really hard to like use VS Code and try it and everything, and there's some stuff I really like about it, but sometimes the Vim interaction is just super weird like that. It'll just like undo stuff I did, or like that. I do the :W and then all of a sudden it takes me out of command mode, and it's just weird. Okay, so that's fixed. That should be the only one here. I mean, in theory, we can just go through these one by one, right? So we need this enable source filter action, bot.user command, and then our next is command bot.user command. OBS line. Where's our stop stream action? Did you use Vim? Yeah, actually, I have used Vim for almost my entire career. In fact, I've been a Linux on the desktop person for almost my entire career. I stopped using Windows right after Windows XP was released in like 2002 or so, and I was all Linux all of the time. 2009, 2010, I got a Mac that I would use only for like admin stuff. I was all Linux on the desktop until just a couple months ago when I decided like, hey, WSL and some of these things are really kind of changing things with Docker and stuff as well. VS Code and VS Code Remote was looking really good. So what you are watching now is a huge experiment for me to see whether I can use Windows and VS Code as a development environment. And all in all, I actually thought that I would abandon this mission significantly sooner. I didn't think I would make it this long. There are some things that I missed, though. Why was it for Windows? Well, I mean, I work for Microsoft, WSL, VS Code, all of that stuff was looking really cool, and I also, just because I'm in developer relations and things like that, I want to have empathy for people and understand the things that, you know, that they're struggling with, or the tools that they are using and things like that. So, you know, I think that it made sense for me to recheck my kind of thoughts about things. It's really hard for me to sit here and criticize Windows as a development environment if I haven't used it in over a decade, you know? And not just like hadn't used it as a development environment, but hadn't logged into a Windows computer. Oh, bot modules, bot action. What did I break here? Line 83. What did I break? Oh, IntelliJ. Yeah, a lot of those I had to get away from. They were just too bulky. Even VS Code's starting to kind of, there'll be times when like plugins are like loading and I'm just waiting to be able to type something, and I get really, really frustrated because I'm so used to working in Vim all of the time. But Vim is not just using Vim natively, but even Vim plugin for VS Code is huge for productivity, to be able to just kind of like move around. Oh, so now we can do command dot channel, right? What? Oh, because we didn't change this one yet. So this is command bot dot user command. And so now we should have access to the channel. And then we should also have access to other stuff, but so this should be out. Oh, that's going to be bytes, so we need to convert this to string. And what we should probably do is look for the existence of an argument that says we want to print it out to the screen. So So 1 and 2, we are actually going to be able to solve pretty quickly. Sweet. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We want to look at our action, and we want to look at our arguments. And you can see we're kind of doing this already. So let's look. Output. So we're going to say if there's an argument called output, and that value strings dot to lower is true, then we are going to take the output from that command and then we are going to say it in the channel. Oh, that's right. What am I missing here? Too few arguments. Oh. And we'll just forward this command along. It's not being used for anything. All right, let's try this. Ooh, we're still broken. Just... Oh, okay, so sleep action needs to change. Everywhere basically in the spot where I registered these actions, we have to make it aware of the command that's now going to be passed into it. Play sound action. Command. Oh, that's gonna, are we in bot? Action line 72. Oh, we're building, we're building, we're building. Okay. So now let's go in here and see whether we can implement this inside of our commands list. So I don't know. That'll work. So we're just gonna borrow this project command. So we're gonna put uptime here. That's the command we want to run. It's enabled. The command we want to run is bot. Wait, right? I think it's under bot, lowercase bot. We're gonna have to do some uniform stuff here. We need to register this too. We want to shell, right? Look at that. Shell exec. Okay, so now it's registered with the bot. So did everybody kind of catch how all of this worked? We just implemented a function inside this module here that matches this interface. And at the beginning of in this init function, we're just registering the shell exec action in the bot module with the bot. And now once that's done, now we're able to kind of come into our config and make up a new command. So it's going to be uptime. It's going to call the shell exec action here. That channel doesn't matter. What arguments did we need? Duty calls. All right, Dr. Dumenberg. Time to fix the server. Good luck. Okay, so we wanted output to be true. Why are you yelling at me? Trailing comma? Oh, because we don't need it. JSON, not Go. All right, I just want to double check. So yes, the output, if we pass it an argument called output true, then it will respond in chat. Okay, so that is the output. The other parameter that we want is the command that we want to run. So for now, this is going to be my own command, and I'm going to just say uptime. So if somebody says uptime in the channel, then we are going to run the uptime command on the shell, and we're going to take the output and we're going to say it back. Boom. So now we have a new action. I think, did I have a ticket for this? I think I had a ticket for this. Look at that. I did. Knocking them down. Okay, so the other issue though with this, we had one remaining issue here. So we've addressed these two. Now we have to think about how we're going to get the arguments in. So you need to use the exclamation point first. So that's how all of the commands work. But you see now we just made this super versatile. Now you could come in here into your config and add any new thing that they say in the chat, and you could not only like tell it what command to run on the shell, you can turn on and off whether or not it displays the output in the chat if you just wanted to exec something. Now you could write a script in whatever you wanted to. And you could combine this with other actions. You could make it sleep and then run another shell command, things like that. So now our remaining issue is, what if I want to say, I don't know. What's a good command that we want to run on the command line? I guess let's open a new terminal here. So Yeah, what if we wanted to pass like the pretty or something, right? No, no way. I am not giving you LS. What is it? Is that it? Oh, it's just trust. Let me make sure this is up. Oh no, it's there. So, here we go. Oh, is it not working?
Sir, I believe this person has questionable motives. Are you quite sure they can be trusted?
Okay. Let me close all our svelte stuff here too. All right. So the next thing we need to do is... Ooh. So in implementing the fix for the last one, we actually just helped ourselves. So inside of this command here is a list of all of the arguments. So we're already passing this. Oh, I love it. Okay. So now we just need sort of like a flag that says we want to look at all of the arguments. So what would that look like? I'm just thinking here. Forward args? Maybe? Arg pass through? Pass args? I guess we'll just use pass args for now. We need a good way of documenting this stuff too. So here's then what we can do is this command takes a variable number of arguments. So that means we can say var args is a slice of string, and then that's going to be empty. Okay. So then what we can do is we can look at that parameter. Well, technically we want it to look basically just like this, right? Pass args. All right, so if the pass arguments is there and it's true, then we are going to set args equal to the command dot args. And so this is basically going to forward everything we got. And so then we can go like this. What am I missing here? Am I missing other way around? Yes. Okay. So that's going to split up all of our individual arguments and create individual parameters out of them. So now in theory, pass args. Oh, that's going to blow up because our config. Ooh, timeout. Why is there a timeout? Uh-oh. What timed out? So I want to know where this message is being generated. It's somewhere we're printing out an error. Let's start removing some of this stuff too. 64. Oh, that's our other test code that we had too. Where are you at? Line 64. Okay, that's not in there anymore. Whoa. Error retrieving user. We're going to clean this up a little bit. If we're going to keep these things, we should at least have some useful error messages. Error saving user. Where is that coming from? It's weird because all of this was working and we didn't change any logic related to any of this. So where's your problem? And this is like a log print line. So log.fate, it's got to be a log.fatal that's doing that. Let's try it here. Command run.go, line 25, is that you? No, that's not. Failed to initialize database. So then the other places in our HTTP library. Oh, that's not. All right, line 103. Tell to upgrade WebSocket. Ooh, failed to initialize database. So command run.go. Why would it fail to connect? So now the question is, did we break something with that? Let's move our bot.db to bot.db.backup and let's see what happens. Like, I wonder whether we interrupted it during a write process or something and we broke something. We did. Crap. To bot.db, and now let's try it again. Yep. We need to fix all of those print lines I just had too. Let's clean this up just a little bit for these print lines that I just had all over the place. I was on Twitch.go. We had a bunch of them. So that is very curious. We are going to need to fix that. So let me just fix these really quick. And they're executing command. Okay. So we've cleaned up some error messages here. That'll build. So let's create a ticket for that really quick, just so I don't forget that. Bot database gets corrupted. Determine if executing via signal causes database to be corrupted. I'm not sure what happened there because I don't think anybody was doing anything. I don't think any chat messages had come through, but somehow our database managed to get corrupted. Okay, so this was all on... Oh, we still have a lot of work to do in the Twitch space, huh? So I think everybody lost their points. What is... Oh, that's... I'm going to move this. We're going to keep it for now because I'm really curious what happened here. Move bot.db, bot.db. Backup. Now if we start this, then we are connected again. Let's look at BoltDB's docs and see if there's something we need to do. Are we doing a db.close? Oh, that's our issue. I'm dumb. Let's delete our bot.db and then move our bot.db backup back to bot.db. Oh. I was in two different shells, so the bot was already running and it tried to reopen the same database. So that was our issue. Oops. Okay. Points still remain. All right, so let's edit this issue. Ensure bot is only running once. Bot cannot open the database multiple times. We need a lock file or something so that only one instance of the bot can exist. This may also require using a WebSocket or something for the command line to work. So the reason I'm saying this is I'm implementing all of the individual commands that you can run directly on the command line to run some of these things. But if they end up needing to talk to the database, they'll need to open that. And it appears that we can't do that. So the other option would be to use SQLite or some other relational database for our bot. I'm not sure I want to do that. I like the idea of just having this like local thing that existed. So we'll just log that and we'll come back to it. Okay, so another things that we can do is, oh, we didn't test that command. So that's what we were doing. Output true, so we should be able to say uptime minus P for pretty. Look at that. So now we have all of our issues solved for that. Did we close the ticket for that? Shell? Yep. Okay, we closed that. So let's go ahead and implement this too. Listing sounds. So right now we have, you know, all of these, like, what was it? I keep losing my WebSocket. I'm going to have to fix that logic too. Let's see.
It appears that we've detected another Heisenberg, sir. Or rather, we haven't.
Okay. So I do need to figure out. Let's log that too. New issue. Double check. WebSocket reconnect logic. Restarting bot seems to break our WebSocket connection. Retry logic should exist. Doesn't appear to function properly. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and implement this sound list thing too, because I think that we can we can do that pretty quickly. What was the other one? Triggers. Oh, description of commands. So that one would be pretty simple too. So where is... Let's get out of here. I'm gonna close all these. Too much stuff open. Okay, so we have this. So we have the play sound action. I think we have a couple of options here. So we can implement in here a special sound that is just like list. Or we could implement it as sound list, sound list. Let's see. What do we think? These are sort of like all of the ways that we could implement this. There's Rocker Boo. Did it break again? The bot's running. Something's up with our WebSocket. Oh, that's live reload. Let's figure out what's going on with this. And I want to know why it's trying to load that live reload crap. So here's our WebSocket. And here's our messages.
Yeah, it's super creative.
Thanks for the follow, Andre Ninja. Okay, so it looks like it's working though still. I feel like it's just an issue with like time for the bot to reconnect. Let's look at that logic really quick. And then we got to figure out how we want to implement that listing of sounds, because we currently have quite a few of them. Yeah, like eventually. Oh, see? That message didn't go through. Oh, but it did. So is it only the first one that's playing? Let's check it out. Yep, so we have some sort of issue here with the JavaScript itself. So I guess let's fix that. We were going to add a new feature, but let's see if we can fix our sounds. So our front end, no, that's just our main.js. So it should be in our app svelte. Okay, so this is our message coming in. So process message should be getting sent. Wait, what was this from? Oh, that was so that we could copy it. Yeah. So Paul, I think that's broken. We're trying to fix it. Hold on. So now that that's refreshed, we should be able to do it.
Yeah, it's super creative.
So it looks like the first time you play a sound, it goes through and then something happens. So we're going to look at that. Ooh. What is this? Bike shedding was one, right? Oh, it's just bike shed. So sound, bike shed.
Ooh, what color shall we paint this bike shed, sir? I've always been fond of pastels.
Yeah, Paul, so I had a voiceover person record me a bunch of like voiceover things so that I could have a sarcastic Jarvis who just talks crap. And so, yeah. Like,
Sir, if I may be so bold as to speak for the viewers, you clearly seem to be enjoying yourself, but we haven't got all day.
oh. So I'm having to refresh right now for each one. We can do them back to back as soon as I figured this out. So our issue here is, I think, something to do with the queue that we implemented on one of the last streams. So we're getting the message. So somewhere here in this process message is our issue. So we're pushing the sound onto the playlist. We're working on fixing it. All right. So we should be able to like, let's console.log the playlist at this point, and let's see what happens. And so what we're supposed to be doing is, if the audio player is null and the playlist length is greater than 0, then we're going to create a new audio object by shifting the first element off of that array, and then we should call play. And so I'm guessing maybe the logic is here. That's going to be my thought, is that, and let's do that. I think that this logic is not doing what we think it is. So what it's supposed to do is, this is supposed to be checking that basically if there's already something that's been being played, that it's completed before we play again. And this sound player is just running on a 1-second interval. So basically every 1 second you get the opportunity to play. If the currently playing sound is not over yet, then you have to wait for the next second. So I think that our issue is this logic is not working the way that we think it is. So if we log this out to the console, my guess is that this is going to say false. So let's refresh this, and then
This yak is as smooth and pink as it's going to get, sir. Shall we move on?
oh, wait a second. That's, do we need to restart the, no, we shouldn't have to restart the bot. Yeah, that didn't output. Do we, well, we're gonna have to rebuild it, aren't we? All right, so we're gonna have to cd into web, and we're gonna just do like an npm run dev. Now that should, in theory, I think if we go to port 5000 now, no. Yeah, port 5000. Global not found. Oh, because it's relative to this. Anyway, so this should still be building it in the background. So let's try it out. Sound super creative.
Yeah, it's super creative.
No. So we should have seen that log message there. What am I missing? I feel like it's not producing the files that we think it is. Because that should have logged out. It should have printed out our playlist as well. And it did not. So are we like hitting up cache or something? Cannot read property current time of undefined. Ooh, okay, so let's not worry about that. Let's wrap this in a check. So we're gonna say if the audio player is not equal to null, then we'll spit that out. Ooh, unexpected token. Where? Oh, I'm mixing up JavaScript and Go here. Null's not the right check. Why is null not the right check? Well,
This yak is as smooth and pink as it's going to get, sir. Shall we move on?
Yeah, it's super creative.
Whoa. So that was working. Let's see, down yak 2.
Don't you have more important tasks ahead, sir? If you shave one more yak today, you could start your own farm.
So how did we fix this? Oh wait, sound. Oh, you declare it as nothing above? Yeah, I never do it, yeah. Oh, see, so now we bumped up against this again. So false, 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 false. Well, no, so we had a bunch of them play back to back. But here's the interesting thing, though. Wait. So right out the gate, this should work, right? Sound taunt.
Sir, please. It is not only your reputation at stake here. Do be careful. This yak is as smooth and pink as it's going to get, sir. Shall we move on?
Okay. So that kind of works. And then... yeah, see? So somehow we're still caught in false here. Wait, did it add it? It did add it. So the playlist has something sitting in it right now. However, we are trapped in this logic where the audio player is not equal to null, but this value, the current time. Let's see what those things say. It's quite possible it's not working the way we expect it to work. Like maybe both those values, no, because if they were both 0.
Catastrophic failure detected. Evacuation protocol has been initiated. Abandon ship. SOS. Abandon ship. Sir, maybe technology's not your strong suit. Perhaps a career in professional sandwich artistry? Remind the viewers again, sir. How many years have you dedicated to achieve this level of mastery? Sir, please. It is not only your reputation at stake here. Do be careful.
Okay, so like all of those played, so... oh. Ah. There's our issue. There is our issue. We're comparing 0 to not a number. Okay. So... so we can say here, if the audio player is null, wait a second. So these are like all of the, so this is all of the same. So if the audio player is null, I feel like we should wrap this stuff up. Like they all ultimately do the same thing. So really, here's the check. If the audio player, wait, if the playlist length is 0, then we're just going to return, right? There's nothing to do. Let's just return. So then that really gives no need for that whole thing, right? So the other check we need is if okay. So the other check we need is, I guess we don't really care whether the audio player is not. Well, we do in the sense that we need to check this. So if the audio player is not equal to null and the current time greater than or equal to 0, well, I'm just sort of thinking out loud here. So we need to check that it's not null just before we call a current time property on it. That's the only reason we care at this point that it's not null. So then if it's equal to that, can we do this? Right? Because if we did a not a number, if we did var a equals no. So that's not what we want. All right. So actually, so here we don't really care. Let's indent this for clarity. So if the audio player is not equal to null, then we're going to check here that if current time, let's just do this. No. So we still have the same issue here. I'm just trying to think of like, what's the cleanest way where we can make sense of this? So this works up until the moment that audio player.duration is null. So here's what we can do. So we can say audio player dot duration is equal to not a number or no, is not equal to and. So really we could do this too. Audio player is not equal to null and the player duration is not equal to not a number. Because we're just basically going to short circuit. If audio player is null, we short circuit. If the duration is not a number, we short circuit and we end up playing it. So then we fall into this. That should work. That should work. So can't read property of undefined sound player. What? What you talking about? Ah. Audio player not equals to undefined. Oh, because we explicitly did the 3 equals.
Perhaps another rubber ducking session is in order, sir.
Okay. So we should go to not a number here at some point, right? So that's so weird. Why does it go? This one's really suiting right now. And it's not playing it. So we're bailing early. So if it's not equal to null, I'm so confused. That's just our log message. This just bails early if our playlist is empty, but we have a playlist. Okay. So if the audio player is null, which is only happens on the first time, and it's not undefined. Wait, and an audio player is not equal to not a number. Yeah, so this is so weird. Because this should have worked, right? If we remove this check. console.log audio player. Audio player dot duration. Audio player dot current time. I love silly things like this where you're like, there's no reason this shouldn't work. Ooh, and that didn't even play. Cannot read property duration of undefined. On line 26. Oh, so this is erroring there. So that's where that error is coming from. And then I think execution is just not continuing from that point. What? Cannot read property duration of undefined. All right, am I going crazy here? Because 25, wait. What do you think line 25 is? Interesting. It's not reloading? So this is still the same old code. Is this just an issue with that's not, it didn't actually recompile stuff? No. All right, I'm so confused here. Because this is the old sound player code. And that should not be the case because we just... save's not working right. Let's see. Line 26. What are you talking about? There's something not working here. Do I have multiple instances of this running or something? No, that should work. It's got to be a caching issue or something because it's complaining about something on lines that are not there. Wait a second. Oh, that's because that's still... All right, let's look at our network here. Oh, this is going to be all bundled. That's going to be useless for us to look at. So are you going to compile? It looks like you compiled. So what's your issue? Adding the Go layer when Svelte has its own server stuff might be making it more complicated. It shouldn't be because the Svelte stuff is just generating the bundle files that are ultimately being included here. So the issue really is that we're not seeing them update because we can see here that it's saying that we can't read the property duration. But when we go here, well, that map is even broken. I mean, we can try and hit it on its own local port, but that's not going to, it's not going to do what we expect it to do. This should be what? Assets bundle.js. I feel like this is just Oh, it's under assets build. I feel like this just is caching on us or something. Because I don't see a reason why this shouldn't be working. Fail. What on earth? Undefined property duration of undefined. So let's remove that and let's see what happens. Oh, I wonder if it's this console.log here. Let's see.
Catastrophic failure detected. Evacuation protocol has been initiated. Abandoned ship. SOS. Abandoned ship.
Yeah, so that's it. That was that error. So we have to figure out why it doesn't work.
Sir, please. It is not only your reputation at stake here. Do be careful.
So I think we might have actually fixed it, and all of that issue I just suffered through was just because of my debug statements. No, because I added those to check, right? What else do we have? Yep, so we broke. Let's just console.log audio player, because that's really all we care about. Every property that we want that's on here is in audio player. So that was probably the route to go to begin with. So let's see, route sound rubber duck.
Perhaps another rubber ducking session is in order, sir.
All right, we'll give it a second. Okay, so what is this? So that's not giving us the data that we want off of it. Let's get some tunes while we figure this out. All right. So we need to check if audio player not equal to null and audio player not equal to undefined. Although I have the feeling this is what we were doing earlier that was breaking. Why are you not formatting? So we want audio player dot duration and audio player dot current time. Which global variables? Oh yeah, well these should be right, like let, right?
Sir, maybe technology's not your strong suit. Perhaps a career in professional sandwich artistry?
So I cut my teeth in web development, but I've been away for quite some time. So I'm like still learning some of the changes and stuff like that that are there. So I will take any recommendations you have. So here's the interesting thing though. Our playlist should have stuff in there, right? Okay, so these are equal. Oh, crap. We messed this up. We only care if this is less than. We only care if that's less than.
Remind the viewers again, sir. How many years have you dedicated to achieve this level of mastery?
A lot of years to fumble JavaScript.
I didn't know you had any friends, sir. It appears that our stream is being hosted.
All right, I think we fixed it.
Yeah, it's super creative.
All right, we fixed it. Took long enough. I can just delete all that. Okay. And I do need to fix the background thing so that I can just include this in the in my OBS so that the sounds play when the bot's running and I don't have to remember to open the web page. But all right, so now let's implement our sound list really quick. I'm thinking about a different command. Thanks for the follow, El Destroyer. Okay, so a sound list should be pretty easy. We already have like this command that we built for doing like help. We need to extract that out too, speaking of which, because that's still really ugly. Because where did we put it? Where did we put it? This is the problem. We don't even know where we put it. That's oh, I think it's under the command logic. Right? Help. Yeah, that's where we like hard coded it. So yeah, look, this needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. So we need to like register the command manually. So we have this logic here where we load our config and we're setting commands based on the key. So we need to actually go through and register our own commands. And but then we have like all those configs that have to be passed. So this execute command logic is really to interpret commands and find them. And we have like all of this crap that's in here. So let's move this stuff. We're gonna call it built-in.go. And so this is just gonna be a list of commands. And we're just gonna check for built-in commands. I think that's the best way to go. Because this is like not the place for this code to exist. Oops. This stuff needs to go too. Because this logic is supposed to be nice and clean for just finding the command that's supposed to be run. Alright, so let's... Alright, and do we need anything from this? Wait. Okay, so it's already a user command at this point, so that's okay. So we can call command, user command here. I guess we could return back an error if we need to. And this will be our user info command. And I guess we don't really need to wrap this, right? We don't need to wrap that either. And then func give points command. Lots and lots and lots of cleanup. That returns back that returns back that. Okay. Are we missing? All right. So now what we need to do is we need to favor built-in commands, I guess. So we have like this list of commands here of this mapping. That we try and go through and find. But I think what we should do is probably so that's just a command. Yeah, okay. So we've got this action func. So let's just have a type command func here too. And this is just going to take a user command and return an error. And then what we can do is built-in commands. And this is just going to be a map string command func. Okay. So then what this will allow us to do is on init I guess we can just do a literal here, huh? So we're just gonna do this package level variable, which is going to be a map string command func, and then we're going to map help to the help command and me to the user info command, and what was the other one? Props. Props is going to get mount to the give points command. Give points command. Oh, it's because we need to do a map string command func. Okay, so that's our built-in commands. And now the next thing we're going to do is when we go to execute the commands, we don't care about any of this. We're going to next check. So basically what we're going to do is first look in built-in commands, next check user created commands. Okay, so now we can if user built-in commands, so c okay equals command dot command. If okay, then we are going to return back the result of command, and we needed to pass it command. Okay, so basically we've got a series of built-in ones, which is like help and things like that, and yeah. It'll check there first. If it exists there, then it'll do it there. Perfect. Okay. So now that's cleaned up. Now let's... Now there's a couple things that we could do. So we could implement this as a built-in, just like these are implemented, or we could come into our commands here and get it to run a shell script. So I kind of like the idea of doing it as a built-in command though. I think it gets messy here. So we're going to do it here. You've got points, and we've implemented spending of points. I haven't assigned prices to everything yet, but there are points. You can give your points to other people by giving props to people. Theoretically, if points are assigned to a command, then
they are subtracted. Is the voice stuff working?
all right, so we need to
I know that we can do
I want a directory list. I know no, I don't want file path walk. I don't know if I need to go through all of that though. Yeah, that's what I want is a read directory. And then where was our help? Because help already kind of did this whole flattening thing for us. Right? Yeah, string set join. So, okay, so here's what we want to do. We want to do a... This is basically what we want to do. So we're going to read the media directory to do. This should really be a configurable directory with a default location. Home. Okay. So we're going to read that. If there's an error, then we are going to return back that error and do nothing else. Okay. And this should, in theory, oh, we want this. We already solved for that. Now we have access to the command channel. Boom. All right. Oh. So I think we actually need to do the visitor thing here. Because we want to strip the prefix. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So that's our list of files. We want sounds. So we're going to do sounds is a slice of strings. Oh, no. We're going to make a slice of strings. Its initial length is going to be 0, but we already know that there's files there. So we're going to do pre-allocate it with the same length. Then what we're going to do is we're going to range over the files, or range over the files, or the file infos, I should say. And we want to know if it's not a directory, then we can also say strings.has oh wait okay, so also in our front end we have it appending wave to it, so we can, after we do this, we can actually fix that. So where's our front end? Web. Here we have it looking for /media/wave. I guess we can fix this later, but let's add a to-do here. To-do, we should be able to play any sound type. So we need to pass whatever the suffix is. And so that's going to require in our play sound module to also look up, to look what the suffix is. But first, let's get this working. So in our built-in, it's not a directory. So files.append, files equals append files, and we want f.name, but we also need to get its base name. Let's just do a quick play here. So if we have, you know, file foo.wave. Are you sitting there playing with my voice, Rocker Boo? It's a, we need, it's funny, I need to pay a lot more attention to this stuff. Is it base name? File path? Is it OS? Rewriting PowerShell scripts into shell scripts. It's tempting to reuse the PowerShell scripts though. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so the base name returns the last element of the path, which I think we want. But we also want to strip the extension off of it. So that's really what we want. Yeah, okay. So here's what we're going to do. We need access to the extension. So what we want is the file path.base on this, just to be safe. F.name. That's going to get us the ending thing. But we also want to file path dot, we need the extension of it. This is going to get kind of ugly. All right, let's just take this first. I'm going to call it name. All right, that's going to get us the name. And then we want to this is just going to give us a has prefix. So we want a strings. We want the strings package. And what we want to do is to trim suffix here. That's the function we want. So we want to strings.trim suffix off of the name, and we want file path extension on name. Or what am I missing here? Oh, closing for our append. All right, so we're stripping the extension off. What do you? Oh, because it's a function. I always forget that on file info. All right, now what are we complaining about? Oh, because we want to append to sounds, not to files. And sounds. Okay. So, in theory, oh, I didn't put that built in here. Oh, let's just do plural. Sound list command. And where did I have that? It's an action. Yeah. All right, here we go. Boom. Look at that. Let's fix that though. Let's put a space after that just to clean it up a little bit. Okay. So now we have our list of sounds. I have the feeling that that list is going to get really, really freaking big. Okay. And we get another issue to close.
Sir, I believe this person has questionable motives. Are you quite sure they can be trusted? Sir, please. It is not only your reputation at stake here. Do be careful.
What did I put here? Ensure no hard coding. It's a channel. Also double check which channel responses are being sent in. This one's probably going to be a little tricky, but... And I'll need assistance from somebody to have this thing sit in their channel. We still need to do this. I need to create maybe a milestone for when I release this open source, because there's a couple of things like this one that really need to be done, and maybe this one before it's not super tied to me. Let's see, what directory am I in? Oh, look at that. So it looks like everything might be removed that's tied specifically to my channel. I guess we just have to double check. Yeah, look at that. Did taunt not work, Rocker Boo?
Sir, please.
Okay, it
It
did.
is not only your reputation at stake here. Do be careful.
Okay, so this LRU cache actually wouldn't be bad to implement really quick too. So the idea behind the LRU cache here is basically so that we can maintain this least recently used cache that allows for like only the most recently used users to be stuffed in this cache, which, do I have the cache being used? Yeah. So this is being used in, oh yeah, when we go to get the user and things like that, we're grabbing them from there. Yeah. So in theory, we could also do this with a Twitch user too. So let me add that here too. To do maintain lookup for Twitch users too. That way we can kind of just hit our cache first before going out to Twitch every single time. Because if you're already active in the channel, then the bot kind of should already have you in cache. And I mean, I suppose we could do that pretty easily too, right? We can just say Twitch. Why is that? Oh, because we're, got it. Helix dot user? Yeah. Okay. So in this particular case, Twitch users by name. Oh, because we're not holding pointers. Okay, so in theory now, we've got like kind of some crossing here between pointers and normal, but we'll fix it. So we're going to look in the cache first. If you exist, we're just going to return you back. If not, we're going to keep looking. And if we make it here where we're going to respond, then we want to set store you in the cache. I'm just going to double check that this works. All right. So it is getting to be just about time for me to call it a day and go get something to eat. What else we got? Wow, we actually touched a lot of stuff today, huh? Well, fixed a lot of stuff. Too much to remember or list. Hold on, Rockaboo. I'm gonna get you. All right, let's start the bot. Oh yeah, hey Paul, you didn't even get to see any of this stuff. So I also have commands like this, scene change. But there's also kind of like the sound No, voice. Deep.
And this gives me like a super scary deep voice. But
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff here. Of course.
Super creative. And so here's the way we finish things up
At the end, I need a shortcut to do this. So I have a command in here called kthanksBye. And kthanksBye is connected to my OBS. And it will, in fact, shut down my stream. So this is how we shut it down every day.
It's time for me to go eat. I'm going to restart the bot. The second I restart the bot,
The first person to say kthanksBye officially ends the stream. So we are up and running as always. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I'm looking really forward to working on this some more. I probably won't be on tomorrow. Ooh, voices is a good idea. I should do a list of I should do a command that lists the available voices. But I may or may not be on tomorrow. I'll be on Wednesday. Whether or not we work on the bot more or on this streaming stuff that I'm working on, that'll be determined. But I'm also working on this thing in Rust that allows you to do RTMP feeds into basically a production switcher in the cloud. So you can take, say, a Twitch channel and switch between multiple streamers, give them each their own endpoint, and decide where things go. But thanks again, everybody. If I don't see you tomorrow, I will see you Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out. And the power's in your hands. Who's going to kthanksBye me? I think. I love how everybody gets like so close to it. So close. And of course, I have the ability to do it too. So I have all of the buttons. It's funny. It's just like awkward silence, waiting for things to end. Oh. I need to put like some amount of points on it too.